Let's bring in Democratic Secretary of State Jena Griswold of Colorado. She is the Democratic nominee in the state's attorney general race there as well. Secretary Griswold, appreciate your being with us on State of Play. What does this mean for voters in your state right now? There are already some states that are preparing to send out their ballots within the next 7 to 10 days.
Well, first off, thanks for having me, as always. And look, I'm disappointed at the Supreme Court's conservative majority. But I think it's really important to note that the Supreme Court only weighed in on a really procedural question. And that question was, did lower courts move too quickly? And the Supreme Court said basically that the case wasn't ready, that the executive order hadn't been implemented yet. Well, the Postal Service is about to take major steps to implement Trump's executive order. So I am confident we're going to see another round of lawsuits. This fight is not over. Look, Trump wants to choose which Americans get a mail ballot. We believe that is so unlawful. The Constitution is clear. States oversee elections, not a president, not Donald Trump. Yeah. So this fight is not over, and we're going to continue to protect the right of every eligible American in this country.
So this gives us a lot to work with. And the reason we invited you to this conversation is Colorado is among those states most potentially impacted by this right now. Every voter in your state, as you're well aware, gets a mail-in ballot with the option of being able to vote in person if they want. Even with that, over 91%, as I understand it, 91% of Colorado residents voted by mail in 2024. Why would it be so problematic, Madam Secretary, then, if the states had to turn over their voter rolls to the federal government, as this order would require?
Well, believe it or not, this last election, over 98% of voters chose to use a mail ballot, and that includes Republican voters. So use of mail ballot is not a partisan issue in Colorado. We've been using vote by mail for quite some time. It works, and it's a great system for so many reasons. But the big issue is Trump is trying to grab unlawful control over the administration of American elections. And the executive order is problematic on various levels. Number one, we do not have confidence that the Department of Homeland Security or the Postal Service knows which Americans are eligible to vote. States oversee our elections. We know who should be able to get a ballot. The threat of prosecution of election officials is ridiculous. We are following the law. So this is an attempt to suppress the vote. Make no mistake, that is what this is about, and to inject chaos in our elections.
And if you were ultimately to lose this, we know there's a process. It's likely still to go back to the Supreme Court. Would states like yours even been able to accomplish something like this before the election is to take place this fall?
It would be very challenging. Look, we have an array of contingencies, including contingencies for Trump interfering with the elections, right? So we'll be as ready as possible for whatever comes our way. But there is 70 days until Election Day. Most election officials, look, the decisions have already been made. The election is already in process. Ballots for overseas and military voters go out in less than a month. So it would be extraordinarily challenging to switch how American elections work so close to the election.
As a Secretary of State, you oversee this process. What worries you most? What should voters be most concerned about as we watch this play out?
We have seen Trump attack our elections left and right since he took office again. 2 executive orders on elections. The DOJ suing states all across the country for refusing to hand over sensitive voter data. By the way, they're losing all those states. All those lawsuits, excuse me. We're seeing him make our elections less secure. He fired the people that we used to work with in the federal government, disbanded the DHS works and the DOJ's work on foreign interference. And now election deniers are in key positions across the federal government. Trump is trying to lay the groundwork to reject the 26 results if they don't go his way. So Americans need to demand better. They need to demand the right to vote, that Trump stops the suppression. We are fighting all of these efforts, and I'll tell you, we are largely working. But do not give in to the lies. Do not give in to this power grab from the White House. Stand strong. Americans will have their voices heard, and we are fighting every day to make sure that's possible.
Last question. I hope it's a simple one. Can you tell with confidence, the people of your state, that there will be a free and fair election this fall in November?
Absolutely. Absolutely. We have done so much to prepare for the 26th election. That includes, we're going to be sending out mail ballots earlier, opening up drop boxes earlier in Colorado. And by the way, Peter, with an eye towards 28, we just worked with the legislature to ensure that no candidate for the third term of the presidency will ever appear on Colorado's ballot.
Secretary of State Jena Griswold, we appreciate your making time to speak to us. Thank you so much.